To start our service, let's have an opening reading and an affirmative prayer. Today I'm reading from Todd Michael, The 12 Conditions of a Miracle. And in it he wrote, "Miracle workers are invariably filled with gratitude. There is not a whiner or a complainer among them." So let's put these positive suggestions to work in our lives through affirmative prayer. I'm going to do this prayer in the first person. Take it in for yourself. Say something that works for you, hold tight to that. Say something that doesn't work for you, just let that part slide by. But just know this truth with me today. There's but one God, one mind, one power, and that power is perfect love, and that power is flowing through me. With gratitude, I now open my mind and my eyes to all the blessings in my life. I know I have come to life to experience God's love, God's health and prosperity. It's available to me. So today I open my arms wide and accept all the blessings Spirit has for me. This is my truth. I celebrate this right knowing, and I release this prayer into the mind of God to do its good and perfect, bold and dynamic work, returning to me multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is. My talk title today is The Light of Spirit. It's what you are, it's what I am. Jesus said we are the light of the world. He also said that what he had done, we would be able to do, and even greater. So I think it's time for us to get busy because we have work to do. And first things first is let's get to work on this virus. We've created it, and we can release it. Let's take care of it. We're up to it. We're up to this task. So we want to visualize, we want to pray, we want to see the best and brightest among us working on a cure for this virus. And then we want to give gratitude for all those who are helping, the healthcare workers. And we want to take our time to do affirmative prayer, to see our society opening up, the schools opening up, the businesses opening up. And let's do it safely. Let's get a plan. And let's stay on the same page. Let's move forward. Release the wishful thinking and know that there's practical and doable things that we can do to make this solution a possibility. And for heaven's sake, let's release the fear and anger. Now, I can understand the fear, but the anger, I just don't understand. I'm sure many of you heard the story about the CEO in San Francisco. He is a CEO of one of the large tech firms in San Francisco, and he's a young man, and I'm sure he has a great deal of money. Probably, as my mom would say, more money than sense. Anyway, this past week, he ended up in a restaurant with a large Asian family who were celebrating their grandmother's birthday. They were a loud and happy group, and at some point they decided to sing Happy Birthday to their grandmother in their version of Happy Birthday. And it evidently angered him so much that he began shouting racial threats to them. Now, why in heaven's name would singing Happy Birthday disturb anyone? Why can't we see that as a joyful and wonderful thing? It's a party. And anytime you have a party available, you should want to join in on it. About the same time that I had read this story, I was talking to one of our practitioners here. He's a really wonderful and joyful person, and he's going through a severe health challenge. Before I got off the phone with him, he had me laughing so hard about his experiences and about his outlook. And I thought, what would he have done in that situation? What would he have done if he had gone into a restaurant and a large family was celebrating Nana's birthday? Oh my goodness. He would have had them teach him the song in their language. He would have sung it to Nana. He would have kissed her on the cheek. They would have taken photos of him, and for the rest of their lives, they would have been talked about the wonderful night that they celebrated Nana's birthday, and they met this glorious and wonderful guy from St. Augustine, Florida. He brings a joyful noise unto the Lord. He joins the party of life. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to celebrate the goodness and the glory and the compassion of God, and to join in the singing when we can, to make a joyful noise. Dr. Holmes, the founder of our teaching, he said we are to joyously proclaim a greater good. Joyously proclaim a greater good through us. You know, I have a relative, and when he talks to me sometimes and he hears some of my views, he's often told me, he says, "Ken, you just want to make people happy." And I say, that's exactly right. Our teaching is fundamentally a teaching of joy. How can making people feel bad about themselves do any good? How can making people feel guilty or ashamed help them at all raise their vibration to the God vibration? And at that vibration, we bring in the miracles. In that vibration, we bring in all the blessings that God has to offer us. When you make people feel bad about themselves, they just become angry and resentful. And they end up shouting at people in restaurants. No matter how much money they have, how many millions they have. And I don't care how much money you have, if you have that kind of mindset, you're not going to be a happy person. Dr. Holmes says, let us strive to make our thoughts radiant with the light of spirit. He said, do not let darkness fall in your mind. Don't court it. Don't give it energy. Don't invite it in. We all have moments when negativity shows up, but don't invite it in and give it tea and cookies. Let it pass along your way. Cut the cord of energy you're giving it. And when you do that, when you recognize you're in a negative space and you move to a more positive energy, you are doing great and good work. This is when the miracle has begun. And this is when you can really pat yourself on the back. When you can replace a negative idea with positive energy. You're saying, as I used to say, you're cooking with gas. And then you can look out for the miracles that can rain down upon you. So it's always good to be looking for the positive. Now, even more important than ever. Now, some people think that they will look for the good when things get better. But that's not the way it works. You have to look for the good right where you are. And once you start giving gratitude for the good you see, your eyes open up and the good you see around you multiplies. Even now, as we're going through the challenge of this virus, we're learning how to do new ways of business. Good things are happening. The other day, I had to take one of our puppies to get her annual checkup at the vet. I call her a puppy, but the vet now calls her her little old lady. And I don't know which is more stressful, to take Sadie to the vet or me having to go with Sadie to the vet. And because of the virus, they've changed up how they operate. You call in for your appointment, and then the assistant comes out to your car and gets your pet and takes them in. So I was there at 7 o'clock Monday to get Sadie there. The lady came out and she said, well, we can text you when Sadie's ready. And I said, no, that won't be necessary. I'm staying right here waiting on Sadie. I thought it normally takes a good 45 minutes to an hour to get the whole exam done. But 15 minutes later, they were bringing Sadie out. And it had saved me and Sadie a great deal of stress and strain. So even in this time of challenge, things are getting better. Dr. Holmes, he says, we are directed by the spirit of wisdom. You are using the same mind that Dr. Holmes used. Einstein used it, and so did Jesus. you have access to all of the great goodness and the great wisdom of the universe. And we can figure out how to do things better. We are guided into happiness and success when we listen to the still small voice within our souls and saying yes to it. Last Sunday night, we had the live service outside in the parking lot, and it was really wonderful. Those are really great events. I hope you get to join us in one. I invited my friend from Grace United Methodist Church, Reverend David Williamson, to come and to talk about his program he's doing on racial reconciliation. And information on how you can join those calls will be listed below our video here. So he has been very instrumental in the last week or so in helping the city move and to get the Confederate Memorial moved from downtown to a private place where it can be viewed away from the city's park. Now, for a long time, people have worked on that project, but some in that leadership have done it through anger. And with doing it through anger, they just met resistance. Reverend David, what he did is he reminded the leadership of our community that for us to be into Christ's consciousness, for us to treat each other as Christ has instructed us to treat each other, then we have to be willing to open our eyes to the suffering of our brothers and sisters in Christ who have ancestors who experienced slavery. And we have to be open to realize that that monument is painful to them. When he called people to their better angels, they were willing to step up and make the changes necessary. When you're in anger, all you get is more anger. And sometimes people would rather stay in anger than to have improvements made. Anger can be an addictive quality. Now, as you know, I'm doing the talk twice each week. I do it earlier in the week to have it recorded and edited so we can post it on YouTube, and then I do it live on Sunday night. The talk that I did on Sunday night, I had done earlier in the week, and for some reason, one way or another, I knew it just really wasn't that great of a talk. It just didn't seem to flow well. There was something about it that wasn't clicking. As I used to say when I was a kid, it wasn't Jell-O yet. So the week coming up, Sunday coming up, I was really concerned about my friend David, making sure he'd be here and feel comfortable about being here. And I was also worried about the weather. All Sunday, it looked like we were going to have some bad thunderstorms, and I didn't know if I needed to cancel the service. So I really didn't pay very much attention to my talk at all. I didn't go back over it. So there I was Sunday night. I started the talk, and as I did, Spirit inspired me to make changes all the way through. It wasn't like that one part of it that I took out, but it was small little changes here and there all the way through the talk. And suddenly it gelled. Suddenly it flowed much better. It was as if there was a structure there all along, and I just had to get out of my way and allow Spirit to let it flow through. There was something greater in that talk than I had envisioned. Something greater than us wishes to be born by means of us, and it can be better and greater than we can ever imagine. It's the light of Spirit. It's the light of Spirit shining from the center of our being, and it illuminates our paths. It makes the way straight before us. Dr. Holmes says, "Gently I lay my burdens and woes down on the altar of faith. I turn from the valley of the shadows. I move from what is to what can be through the grace and aspirations of God. A song is on my lips, peace is in my heart, and the light of Spirit shines from me. It is the beam of the eternal radiance. We have that which is eternal flowing through us, calling us forth to something greater, beseeching us to know something better for ourselves. And it will be happening through the rest of time. So we want to listen to that call. We want to go out and to make something glorious and wonderful happen by means of me and by means of you. If you want to sing out, then sing out and be the light of the world shining forth. It's yours to do. Now's the time, and you're up to it. It's the truth in your life today. It's the truth in mine, and so it is.
Well, if you want to sing out, sing out. And if you want to be free, be free. 'Cause there's a million ways to be. You know that there are. And if you want to live high, live high. And if you want to live low, live low. 'Cause there's a million ways to go. You know that there are. You can do what you want. The opportunity's on. And you can find a new way. And you can do it today. And you can make it all true. Or you can make it undo. You see, it's easy. You only need to know. And if you want to say yes, say yes. And if you want to say no, say no. 'Cause there's a million ways to go. You know that there are. And if you want to be me, be me. And if you want to be you, be you. 'Cause there's a million things to do. You know that there are. And you can do what you want. The opportunity's on. And you can find a new way. And you can do it today. And you can make it all true. And you can make it undo. You see, it's easy. You only need to know. Well, if you want to sing out, sing out. And if you want to be free, be free. 'Cause there's a million things to be. You know that there are, 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 you know that there are. Hope you guys are doing good out there.
End our service today with an affirmative prayer. Just know this truth with me now. There is but one God, one mind, one power, and that power is perfect love. It's divine intelligence. It is universal wisdom, and it is calling me forth on to be the better part of myself. So here today, I release and let go of any idea of lack or limitation of victimhood. I now step into my fullness. I see myself as God sees me, as bold and powerful, dynamically compassionate, wonderfully loving. And I see myself moving out into the world, being a wonderful, bright light of joyous possibilities for myself and for all those around me. This is what God has prayed me to be, and today I'm answering that prayer. I'm stepping out and stepping up. It's my truth. I celebrate it. I rejoice in this right knowing, and I release this prayer into the mind of God to do its good and perfect, bold and dynamic work, returning to me multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is. All right, my dear friends, know this truth with me. Your life is not a problem to be solved. It's a miracle unfolding. Your job this week is to go name your miracle, to proclaim your miracle, and to make it your own. God bless us all. Now let us go be the miracle God has called us to be. This is Reverend Ken. Until we see each other again, many blessings.